What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, and I'm on another walk. I'm doing another walk and questionnaire. This one's not going to be for too long. I'm not going to talk too long. I did want to, promote some things, and then we'll move to answering a few questions. And I hope that this is going to be easier than last time. I've been doing a few walks. Trying to do at least 2 or 3 a week since the last video that I did. So hopefully I've got better breath capacity. Is that a thing? Is that what you say? But I do have something to promote. So here in about, I don't know when this video is going to go up. Here in about, I'm about 3 hours away from it now, but I'll probably get this up in about an hour. So about 2 hours from now, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, I'm going to be doing the July release roundtable roundup with a panel of guests, and we're going to be talking about all the amazing releases and some that weren't so amazing as well. There's always some of those in the month of July. So very exciting stuff. A lot of cool titles to talk about. I got a lot of great guests on there. I'm going to put up the thumbnail so you can see them all, but should be a fun time talking movies, talking physical media, talking about collecting. So join us here in about 2 hours on my channel for the live stream July release roundtable. You guys hear those cars? Cars everywhere. I always feel like I'm getting ready to get run over by somebody, but it's okay. Like I always say, if I get run over, it's going to make for a more entertaining video. As long as the phone is recovered, and somebody actually does the uploading of the footage, y'all get to see it. But yeah, I got another thing to promote. I was on another YouTuber's channel recently, Christian Hannah Horror, Planet CHH. We were talking about the Willies. And if you don't know what the Willies are, it's a 1990 horror anthology that feels a lot like a kid's version of Creepshow. So go check that out. We talked about that movie, did like a review retrospective. I'll link that down below. And yeah, that was a good time. Definitely check out the Willies if you haven't seen it. It's a good movie. It gives you the Willies for sure. It gave me the Willies. Okay, so question time. All right, so Stubbs Media Outlet asked me to talk about my love of movies and my favorites and where did it start. So my love of movies, I can't ever remember a time where I haven't been watching movies. I can remember where I was pretty young, probably 3, and I remember seeing, stuff like the old Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and the old Disney animated movies, and I remember seeing The Little Mermaid in theaters, and I was like 4 years old when that came out, maybe 3, but I remember all that stuff. So my love of movies has just always been there. I was a nerdy kid. I was a chunky kid, and I went outside and played. Everybody in the 90s and early 2000s, it's kind of like we were all outside at some point, like playing and doing stuff. Like, I'm not gonna act like I stayed inside all the time or anything, but I wasn't playing sports and doing that kind of stuff. I wasn't a cool kid. So when I was at home, I was either playing on my Nintendo or Super Nintendo, or I was watching movies. And I mean, my favorites growing up, I love E.T. I talk about E.T. all the time. All the Tim Burton stuff, Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, Batman movies, like all that stuff really helped shape my love for movies for sure, because I watched a lot of Tim Burton classics. Encino Man, I remember watching when I was very young, and that's definitely, I haven't seen that movie in a while, but that's definitely grown into one of my favorites. That one needs a Blu-ray, by the way. I talked about that in a recent video. I was also big on 90s action movies. I loved Con Air. I loved Broken Arrow. I watched all that kind of stuff. Gremlins, of course, I watched growing up. Just a lot of movies, a lot of kids movies. I got into horror movies pretty early on as well. I was probably like 9 or 10 when I started watching Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and Halloween. Halloween actually came when I was probably 11 or 12. It came a little bit later, but Ghoulies I remember watching. I used to go, my mom used to take me to the rental store like every single weekend, and I rented out the entire horror section over the course of like 2 years. So I saw all the franchises, the big franchises like Halloween and Howling and Silent Night, Deadly Night, and all that kind of stuff. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. So that's where my kind of love for horror comes from, because I've just been a massive horror fan since I was very young, and I've gone through peaks and valleys with horror. Wasn't too into it in the 2000s, but you know, definitely got back into it in the 2010s. Yeah, just a lot of movies. I love all kinds of movies now. I really feel like I'm filling out my film tastes, going back and watching all these other classics. And everybody's always asking me, like, how have you not seen this movie? How have you not seen this movie? It's like I grew up just watching the movies that I knew I liked, and when I knew I liked something, I would literally watch it over and over again. So that's why I've seen Mallrats probably 75 times, and I only watched Scarface for the first time last year, because I just rewatch the same movies over and over again. And I was just very reluctant to step out of that comfort zone for a long time until recently. And this channel's actually really helped me step out of that comfort zone. So my next question comes from Anthony's Horror and More, and he asked me the ultimate question: how do I deal with the whole home, family, work, life balance, YouTube, all that stuff? That's a complicated answer. I could probably take an entire video to answer that question. I often have a lot of people, I feel like, ask me, like, how do I do so much, or whatever, how do I do this and how do I do that? And the short answer, I don't ever, and a lot of people would advise against this. But I just have a very worker mentality, I guess. I just feel like I always need to be working. I feel like my mind always needs to be moving, because if I stop, then I'll just shut down and I won't ever do anything. So I have to keep moving to keep myself from shutting down. So it's tough. It is tough to balance everything and feel like you're succeeding in everything. But I feel like I'm doing okay. I could definitely do better, but if you ask my wife, I could definitely do better about balancing certain things. But I do make sure that I spend an adequate enough amount of time with the family, and I also have a full-time job. I work 40 hours, and then I try to devote as much time as possible to YouTube. And how do I accomplish that? Well, I just, all the extra free time that I have is dedicated and devoted to this channel in one way or the other. Whether it's just me shooting videos at 2 o'clock in the morning, which you could probably notice recently in a lot of my videos, I'm very tired looking. It's because I don't have time in the day to shoot anymore, because my kids are home from school all the time, because it's the summertime. So I have to shoot everything that I do at like 1 o'clock in the morning, after I watch everything that I need to do to talk about on the channel. So that gets a little bit tricky and a little bit complicated, and that'll smooth out a little bit when they go back to school. But I just have not had time at all this summer to really do a whole lot of anything for myself. So yeah, it's a tough balance, but I'm pretty decent at time management. It also helps. My work schedule helps a lot. Like, I work 40 hours a week. Like, I work a normal working schedule. I don't work part-time or anything. But being able to consolidate my work schedule into 3 days, I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12-hour days, makes things a little bit more easier. You know, and I work probably about 13, 14 hours in my 12-hour shifts, because I'm a supervisor manager and I always have to come in early and have to stay over. So I probably work 41 to 42 hours, but it's all in one block of time, Friday through Sunday. And if I am able to record all the videos that I need to for the weekend, then all I have to do is edit those in my spare time. And I do all my editing on my phone, which definitely helps out as well. So yeah, it's tough. It gets tough, and it does feel like you're constantly moving and constantly doing something. But when you enjoy something this much, that's fine, because I honestly, like, again, I don't have any time for myself, but also I enjoy doing this. So this kind of is time to myself too, but it also sometimes does feel like work. So it's a little bit, you know, hard to balance sometimes, for sure. But would I like some free time to just chill and play some video games, or read a book, or just do something for myself, watch a movie that I know I don't have to talk about? I do that sometimes, but yeah, sure. But yeah, having that consolidated, I don't feel like I'm answering everything like I should. Having that consolidated work schedule where I work in that small block of time allows me to have the whole week Monday through Thursday. You know, in addition to being with my family and doing stuff about them. Obviously things are always busy. The kids need something always. If you have kids, you know, they never not need something. It's every hour somebody needs something, needs help doing something, or, you know, and they need to eat. Like, what is that? Kids have to eat? Come on. And yeah, it gets tough, as I guess what I'm trying to say, to balance all that stuff. But I appreciate that question. So that's it, guys. That's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, join me tonight, the Roundtable, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a lot of great guests talking about all the great July releases. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the bell notifications. Follow me. God damn, it's hot out here. Follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are in the description. And drop me a comment, even if it's just to say, hey, Ken, how you doing? You know, comments help. So drop me a comment, and I'll see you next time.